Good morning, friends. Today is Monday, January 19th, aka Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is a school holiday. If you don't know, I'm a private tutor who works with students all the way from pre-K to college age in a variety of subjects, and far too often I get the question, what do you even do on school breaks? And I think that aligns with the idea that as a private tutor, I simply help kids with their homework. So I kind of want to debunk that a little bit, and we're going to spend the day together as a private tutor on a school break. So let's get started. I have sessions booked from 8 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. tonight. If anybody adds on, of course, we'll adjust for that. On my calendar, I plan to see a total of 12 students today, and the longest break that I have is driving 45 minutes from opposite of one town to the next. So let's get started. First things first, since I'm leaving the house prior to 8 a.m., we're stopping to get breakfast and coffee. Okay, lighting is terrible, but just had to show we got iced coffee, even though it is 34 degrees outside. A big red that goes with the obviously got the number 2 sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin with the hash brown, where we put the hash brown inside the sandwich to eat. So, enjoy. Okay, our first session is down. We had a homeschool algebra 2 session where we talked about like breaking down square roots. An example, we use Valentine's as a reference. So an example is like the square root of 50. So 50 can be 2 times 25, and then 25 splits into 5 and 5. So on Valentine's Day, the couples go out and the single stays behind. So it'd be 5 square root of 2. Anyways, and then I had sibling where we finished up a book report over Treasure Island, and then they decided they wanted to order lunch, but it was like 9:30 in the morning, so we ordered Panda Express, and now I have orange chicken and fried rice to have for the remainder of my day to kind of pick on throughout the day. Headed to my next session, but I'm caught behind a train right now, so catch up in a little bit. Okay, second stop is done. It was another like family group of homeschool students, so 3 students. It's a little bit of like first grade math games. I used a plain deck of cards, simple version of War, where we flipped 2 cards, had to add them, and then see what the total was, greater than, less than, to see who won. We also did an activity where we practiced spelling words by making her do silly things. So if she drew a 2 out of the deck, she would have to write the word with her eyes closed. If she drew a 3, she had to write it with her left hand, or silly things, just to get her used to thinking of the spelling words like mentally as she's writing. Then we checked some 8th grade Spanish and Algebra 1, which is always fun. And then did a little bit of a pre-lab for 5th grade electricity and science. So let's head to our next session. All right, y'all, we survived 3rd grade reading comprehension, where we got to use this fun little tool I grabbed from Target last week, that you put the little card in and it like says the word out loud, and then we got to use it as like a guessing game, and also used it for like story recall and things like that. And then the mom gave me chili. I'm almost certain this entire pot is not full, but you know, it is what it is. So there we go. I'll be taking that home. Actually, I'm going to swing by my house, I believe, on the way to my next session, and then I've only got a few more left for the day. Okay, we just wrapped up a preschool session. Well, it was 2 brothers. One's in preschool, one's in kindergarten. And I was so incredibly amazed with the kindergartner and his, like, reading skills. So I actually read an entire book together, several passages. He was subtracting. It was fantastic. And then my preschooler, we were working on letter identification. We also throw in some Spanish and sign language just for fun. Preschool sessions are always very, like, very fill your cup, but also pure chaos. So it's a great time. All kinds of games and activities for that. So now, after all of that, let's head to Starbucks. Yes, for a session, but also let's head to Starbucks. We need some coffee. All right, we just wrapped up our 8th grade math session. Went over the rules of like interior angles on a triangle, and then corresponding versus vertical versus same side interior angles for kind of like pre-algebra geometry. Anyways, we got our shaken espresso with non-fat milk and sugar-free vanilla, sugar-free caramel. I did add some caramel drizzle today just to spruce it up a bit, and I think cold foam. But yeah, so now we get to head home. It is a little after 7, and I have at least 3 students to check in with on Zoom. I have 1 full-length session and then 2 more to check in with, just looking over like National Honor Society applications, things like that, and then 1 full-length session for, I believe, AP Pre-Cal. So let's get those wrapped up.